of their head hitting their pillow. How the fuck do you fall asleep within 8 seconds of your head hitting your pillow? My brother is one of these people, and I asked him this recently. The trick is a clean conscience. I got nothing to think about. Me, how do you not think about anything? I dunno. I just stopped thinking. He's 16. Not thinking is the key. I had to train myself to completely clear my mind. Start by cutting inner monologues. Imagine you were born deaf and think primarily in images. Then cut those and just focus on what you feel. The last step is to tune out those sensations. In the beginning, you will only be able to sustain it for a couple seconds, but you'll be able to go longer with time. Eventually, it'll be second nature. In the beginning, my primary goal was to remove the stress of my life for a moment through meditation, but it ended up being a useful way to fall asleep. Also, I don't remember the last time I've woken up in the middle of the night. The only downside is that I sleep like the dead and never dream. I just close my eyes as if to blink, and when I open them back up, it's morning, and my wife is pissed that I missed my alarm. I have created an imaginary world in my head that I only visit when I'm in bed and going to sleep. My mind associates those places and characters and narratives with sleep. I do the same thing, and I never thought about the associative factor as being why it's so effective. I also wear a sleep mask, and I think putting it on is part of the ritual that tells my brain that it's bedtime. Hit it hard enough. On this bed? But what if I still want to wake up at some point? My friend does this. We'll be playing video games, then he'll suddenly be tired and good night. Literally seconds later I can hear him snoring in his room. Like your friend, I also can sleep right away. I've been teased about it a lot growing up. But seeing as how I'm in the minority of people, I must assume that would be because of envy. I'm not sure if other people like me are like this, but I don't have an inner monologue that distracts from my sleep time. You can't think. Don't think of anything real or about falling asleep. Once you do, you'll never go to sleep. Best trick I've found when I don't fall asleep easy is to put myself in a movie. Like imagine yourself walking through the gates of Hogwarts. What happens next? All up to you, and just let your imagination flow. Eventually you'll fall asleep without realizing it. I have to kinda gaze into the back of my eyelids without thinking. Like when you rub your eyes and all the different shapes and images and shit fly around? I just watch them with absolutely no thought and I'm out within 2 to 3 minutes. I'm a lifelong insomniac, but my sister could fall asleep on her way to the pillow and sleep through the car going over train tracks. I wake up if a mouse farts across the street. I never got it. Out of all the things you could say to represent a little noise, a mouse farting across the street is what you chose. I respect it. I agree with it. And I most definitely will use it in the future. I'm a firefighter, and my one partner says what he likes least about me is my ability to fall asleep so fast after returning from a call. It helps to be physically tired. Much easier to fall asleep when your body has been engaged in physical activity during the day. I try to lay perfectly still, and not allow myself to scratch my nose if it itches, for example. I just ignore the itch, and next thing I know, it's time to get up. I just discovered that there are people with an inner monologue, and this voice in their head allows them to have silent discussions and worry about decisions and whatnot. I don't have this. I don't have any voices talking to me. My preference is also to listen to a documentary on YouTube or Netflix. I set my timer on my phone to stop playing after 20 minutes and rarely stay awake till the end. I am very well versed on the first 10 minutes of World War II. What's it like when you think thoughts then? Do you hear them? I never knew there were people without internal monologues. For me it was a learned skill, thank you US Army. They pushed me to work from reveille to taps. And only allowed for 5 to 6 hours of sleep, and I need 7 to 8. I wore an alarm watch. Any break during the day? Oh, I have 25 minutes? Set alarm watch, prop against a tree or lay down anywhere I could, bam asleep. My wife is still amazed at how I do it. I used to be an aircraft mechanic in the military. I was in a tug vehicle used to tow aircraft, waiting for another shop to finish a low-power turn engine or running 15 feet away from the aircraft, sitting in the tug. All that noise and still managed to take a 45-minute nap and woke up as soon as the engines shut down. I'm pretty sure they ran the engines up to 75% power and still slept right through it all. Just basically never give a shit about anything meaningful, that way you'll never have anything to keep you awake. Totally healthy way to approach life. This is just another way of saying acceptance. It actually is a really healthy way of approaching life if you do it right. Not necessarily not doing anything you give a shit about, instead realizing that nothing really matters as much as you think it does, and loving what you're going through. I've worked 20 plus shifts and be ridiculously tired and still takes me 20 to 30 minutes at least. So, what the answer is, I think it's just brain chemistry. Thanks for this. I keep seeing responses that basically say I work hard. Lots of people do and still can't sleep for shit. I don't work 20-hour shifts but have a very stressful job. I'm always exhausted at the end of the day but can't fall asleep for an hour after I lay down, minimum. That's my secret, Cap, I'm always tired. I'm surprised this isn't closer to the top. I'm always tired and can fall asleep no problem, and I thought a lot of people were like that. But I'm just now realizing that maybe I have a problem. Exercise a lot in the morning after waking up. So I need a time machine? Get exercise every day. I find the more I do the faster I fall asleep. I turn on Netflix, or Hulu, to a show I've seen a million times. I turn away from the screen and fall asleep. The key is that it can't be something you need to pay attention to, works like a charm for me. Stay awake until you fall asleep in the couch, then groggily walk to the bed when you inevitably wake up. I'm usually more awake at that point than before I napped. This is literally me, my husband is just the reverse. The main differences I observe between the two of us. 1. I'm a doer, he is a thinker. Worrying about stuff keeps him up at night, whereas I go to bed with the reassurance I've done all I can do that day and que sera sera. 2. He brings his phone to bed and browses Reddit. I'm strictly no screens an hour before bed. 3. Other than bringing the phone to bed, he has no routine. By about 9:30, I'm winding down with my skincare routine, washing up, making a hot drink, and then in bed with a book by 10:15 at the latest. 4. Since I'm the high-energy person in the relationship, I am moving and doing things all the time, get home from work, cooking, have dinner, work out, do some laundry, read before bed. I'm pretty physically tired/drained by the time I hit the pillow. My husband runs at what seems to be a consistently lower energy level, like low enough that he needs a lot of downtime, usually in front of screens, to recharge, but high enough that he doesn't sleep well. Became a dad. Since my son was born I physically cannot lay down without falling asleep. It took me 1 year to hear a crying baby at night. First night with a newborn has passed. Morning. Me, wow, honey, he slept the whole night. My wife after waking up every hour to crying baby. It literally just happens. More like 4 seconds. Yeah, all these people with methods to fall asleep fast, I just can't relate. I just fall asleep if I close my eyes for long enough, just about always. To the point where it's almost irritating because people always feel the need to let me know I was sleeping. I had to train myself to sleep fast. I went from taking hours upon hours to fall asleep, but now if I say I'm going to bed I'll be asleep for you can say okay, which can sometimes be a bad thing, ha ha ha. Start by turning off all electronics you are using, lay down, close your eyes, and no matter what do not open them till morning. At first it's painful because you'll lay with your eyes shut for hours in boredom, but after a few weeks of doing this every night your body gets trained into falling asleep faster and faster. It's basically breaking the habit of not being able to fall asleep. Hope this helps you sleep better. Smile.